Hi everyone, welcome back to Stories at 10 Miles Per Hour, where we play stories or we tell stories from any town, USA, anytime. It could go back as far as the 1960s, sometimes back in the 50s. This is a more modern one. I wouldn't say modern. I say this would originate from the 1960s and go all the way up into it would skip ahead to the 2010s. It's about paying respect to my man. This guy, he was like a friend. He was more of an acquaintance. He wasn't a close friend because we didn't spend a lot of time together, but he was one of the original people that I met at a certain place where we would participate in Food Not Bombs. A whole lot of you out there are familiar with Food Not Bombs. It's like a potluck. It's just where somebody rents a place that's not too terribly expensive, and everybody brings, some pasta or some rice or some vegetables, fruits, anything other than meat. You can bring a loaf of bread. You can bring money to make donations, and it doesn't have to be extravagant. But it's important that everybody gets filled up, and potato salad. But yeah, you wouldn't want to have the type of potato salad that contains any kind of egg yolk mayonnaise product, if you can help it. I've seen Food Not Bombs situations where there was cheap ass bottles of wine next to the donation jar. Well, all right, so yeah, you get the idea. Okay, well, my friend Art Kunkle was the guy who, back in the 1960s in LA, started the LA Free Press newspaper. And it was really a really cool thing. And I didn't even know that until I was attending some Food Not Bombs supper one night. And Art was one of the people, one of the regulars. There was a whole bunch of other folks that were kind of semi-famous. Art was, in my opinions, very famous. Art was probably in his 70s. This was almost 10 years ago. He had long hair, thick long hair, and I was trying to understand because my long hair is thinning, and I wasn't always a long-haired person. There was a time in my life when I was a clean-cut person, had nice thick hair, uh, a little bit thin, but it was I couldn't understand how Art was able to maintain without wearing a wig like some people I know had that long hair. So I went up to him and I asked him, I said, I'm not trying to say you look old, but at your age, in your 70s, I was probably in my 50s at the time, and I said, man, you got some long hair. How do you do it? He said, and then he told me, Art told me, the reason I have this long hair is because I think a lot. And then, wow, yeah. So I'm sure we could be friends. And so then on another occasion, um, there was a situation where I got there early and they were setting up these tables. They would stack 8x4 tables together, two of those, anticipating a large crowd, and they'd always fill up. And if they needed more space, that it was there were extra chairs, and we always had a full crowd. And I was trying to help out a little bit, and I was going to grab this heavy, large object and bend over and grab it, and but because I was a drunken idiot, And Art said, "Stop. Don't do that. You're going to screw up your back really bad beyond your wildest beliefs. Don't bend over and grab things. If you're going to do something like that, bend your knees, get closer, pull it to you, and then," because he knew something about uh, physical therapy, that you don't mess up your back by doing stupid stuff. And I stopped and I looked over at Art and I said, "Yeah, it was about it. Well, then I won't even try. We can get somebody else to help lift up an object that was really heavy and do it the right way, whatever." We got it done, and it was a big success. And it was always a big success with, there was prominent people from the 60s, even going as far back as the 50s, the people that, some say it was the greatest generation that shut down the Vietnam War. But the thing about Art was that Arthur, was one of the people from back in the 60s, labeled as a counterculture person. But he had a newspaper in Los Angeles, California, whereas it was like a ways and means for the people to get the word out to shut down the Vietnam War. There were people running promiscuous ads, I'm sure, but it was all in good faith and good fun. And the LA press was a success, and Art Kunkle was the guy who's famous for that. So that's just about all I can remember. I would, from time to time, attend the Food Not Bombs meetings, and I would go there even when there were none, and I'd ask around, "How's Art doing?" And he had gotten older and older, and they placed him in a place, and they were taking care of him. And then I heard he passed away. And so, as you may have noticed, I've been just only doing, folks, I don't need to look up an official obituary. I'm just saying, I think our old friend Art Kunkle has passed away, and but he was great. He was semi-famous. He's the one that started the LA Press and had many achievements in his life, and he's my friend, and reached out to help me. And I'm just, I feel enriched that I met a person like this near the end of his life. So yes, he was my friend, and so Art Kunkle, I will never forget you, Art Kunkle. So let's see if we can get a bunch of views from folks. And you might want to sign up, because we got future celebrities and, just ordinary folks as well, that are just as important, who passed on to the next life, whatever that is. It's very important that you hit that like button, and you'll see a kind of an explosion animation. And then you can also hit subscribe, and that's interesting, and you can share and download and whatever else. They say now they got something say remix. But yeah, this all about Art, my old friend, acquaintance Art. I'm sure we could have been better friends, but it was just getting too late. And I only come out here when the weather's nice. So I didn't have much of a chance to hang out with Art all that much, but at least he did have some good advice for a stupid son of a bitch like me. Bye-bye, audience. Bye-bye, audience. Bye-bye, Art Kunkle. Rest in peace, my friend.